Hello, welcome to Bear's Cartoon History. My name is Brad Spence, and today we'll be talking about my top 10 favorite World War II tanks. But first, some rules. My list will include tank destroyers and assault guns, so not just tanks, and also will not include prototype tanks because they never saw combat. Okay, let's begin. Number 10, the Chameau S-35, a cavalry tank that was built by the French. It was well liked by the cavalry, and like all French tanks, had a one-man turret. But the problem with the Chameau S-35 was that the French couldn't get enough of them due to production problems with the French government nationalizing the arms industry to stop war profiteering. Workers got a 40-hour work week because there were no shifts, which led to tanks coming in late and not all the parts coming in together. And the French government not trusting the army. They limited conscription to a year, which meant that there wasn't much training for tank crews, which led to their defeat in 1940 against the Germans. It had a crew of 3, a commander, who would also act as the gunner, a radio operator, radio not included, and a driver. It had a maximum of 47mm of armor and was armed with a 47mm gun. Number 9, the ISU-154. The reason why I like this tank is because its 152mm gun can pretty much destroy anything that offends you. Like, if there's a bunker that you took a particular offense with, boom, it's gone. A house? Same thing. And a tank? Boom, blown to pieces. It had a crew of 5 and could do 19 miles per hour. Number 9, the T-34. I tend to find this tank is overrated due to its sloping armor and chassis suspension. Despite other tanks having sloping armor, this is because it limits space in the tank, making the T-34 cramped and the chassis suspension not being good, due to it taking up space and being quite heavy. Number 7, the Panzer 38T, a Czechoslovakia tank, originally called the LT-38. But when Germany invaded Czechoslovakia in March 1939, the Germans renamed the tank to the Panzer 38T. It was used by the Germans in the invasion of Poland, the Battle of France, and the invasion of the Soviet Union, which it suffered heavy losses, and the tank was declared obsolete in 1942 and was designated to garrison duty. It had a crew of 4 and could go up to 26 miles per hour. The reason why I like this tank is because I played well with tanks and I had fun playing with this vehicle. Number 6, the Panther tank. After counting the Soviets T-34 and the KV-1, the Germans decided they needed a superior tank, which led to the development of the Panther, which was first used during the Battle of Kursk. Due to its rushed development, the Panther came in heavier, which put strain on the gearbox and transmission, which was behind the radio, which made it difficult for its crews to replace the transmission. Despite these mechanical issues, when the tank did work, it performed well. It had a maximum of 110mm of armor, has a crew of 5, with a speed of 29 miles per hour. Number 5, the Cromwell tank. This tank has a top speed of 40 miles per hour and is decently armored for a British cruiser tank, with a maximum thickness of 76mm. It was armed with a 75mm gun, but due to the fact that Britain couldn't produce as many tanks as the Americans, there were not as many as available as the Sherman. As well as due to a lack of welders, the tank was riveted. The rivets were protected by armor. It had a crew of 5, commander, gunner, radio operator / loader, driver, and a hull gunner for the machine gun. Number 4, the Churchill tank. It had a rushed development, meaning that the tank early versions of it suffered reliability issues, but these were fixed in later versions of the tank. It was also a mobile bunker because of its thick armor, with the early versions having 102mm armor, with the later versions having 152mm of armor. For comparison, the Tiger 1 had 120mm of armor, so the Churchill had thicker armor. It also had great mobility, same as the Sherman, and was armed with a 2-pounder, 6-pounder, 75mm, and a 95mm howitzer. It also had a crew of 5, a commander, gunner, loader / radio operator, a driver, co-driver, who also acted as the hull gunner, and came in many different variants, such as the Crocodile flamethrower tank. Number 3, the Stug 3. This tank was originally designed as an infantry support vehicle, but when the Germans started facing T-34s and KV-1s, the Germans decided to put a high-velocity 75mm gun on the Stug 3, making it a tank destroyer, in which it was very good at. It had a crew for a commander, gunner, loader, and driver. It was also armed with a 75mm gun, both high and low velocity, and a maximum of 80mm of armor, and could do 25 miles per hour. The reason why this tank is my favorite is because I remember playing this tank in a video game and I had fun playing with it. Number 2. The Tiger. I know, how original. Just like the Panther, it was developed when the Germans started facing T-34s and KV-1s, and needed a heavy tank to deal with these more heavily armored opponents. The competition to develop this new tank was between Henschel and Porsche, which Henschel won, and that would be due to the fact that it was more reliable than the Porsche one. The Tiger had problems, like its engine would catch on fire sometimes and its transmission was impossible to fix on the field, so it sent back to the factory if it was damaged by the driver or by combat. The Tiger would be replaced by the Tiger II when it was suffering heavy losses by Soviet Joseph Stalin tanks. It had a crew of 5, a commander, gunner, loader, driver, and radio operator, and could go up to 24 miles per hour, even though off-road wasn't very good, and had a maximum armor thickness of 120mm. Number 1. The Sherman Firefly. This tank solved the problem that the Allies were facing where they had to get in close to kill a German tank, but the Firefly could shoot them at range and was more than capable of destroying enemy tanks, even though it was crammed full of the crews in the Firefly. Just like the Sherman, it was reliable and maneuverable. It had a 17-pounder gun, a top speed of 25 miles per hour. It had a crew for commander, gunner, loader, and driver. If you like this video, like and subscribe. See you next time.